everyone, it's Ken and Andrea here from Northern Viking Explorer. Today we want to share with you our likes and wishes from our recent 7-night Mexican cruise on the Carnival Firenze.
We always have a great time cruising. We enjoy every cruise we've been on. But we want to tell you our honest opinion, the things we really liked, and some of the things we wish were just a little bit different.
So we're going to cover 4 categories today: the layout and amenities of the Firenze, our cabin, it was an inside cabin on deck 10, the free food and restaurants, as well as the entertainment and activities. So let's go ahead and dive right into our likes and wishes of the Carnival Firenze. So let's talk about the layout and amenities of the Carnival Firenze.
Okay, the first thing I have to say is the ship is very stable.
Yes, it was.
I was surprised when we left port, both of us missed it. We didn't know we were moving.
Yeah, when we left Long Beach, there was the sail away party, and we were watching the sail away party, and I looked back and looked out the window, and we were already gone. So I was hoping to look off the edge, kind of do some filming, and we'd already left port.
And some ships, they really vibrate. So this is nice. When you sail away and it's just smooth, it's a good thing.
Yeah, so for that, it doesn't really fit out in the layout and amenities, but we just wanted to point that out.
Quality of the ship.
Quality of
It's
the
great.
ship, yeah.
And I have to add, really well maintained.
It was not well maintained, yes. Sometimes we've been on ships and there's lots of stuff that is broken, and I'm sure they're trying to fix it, but this one, there was nothing noticeable that was broken.
Everything was just as it was supposed to be, which was great.
So like you say, well maintained. But let's start out kind of in the main pool area.
This is one of my favorite places on a cruise ship, the Lido deck.
The Lido pool. So this is on deck 10 here on the Carnival Firenze. So we've got the main pool area, and then there's a deck above it, deck 11, and then deck 12. So those kind of overlook the pool area. Your thoughts?
Okay, well, let's start. I like a center pool, which is very nice. And the area is very interesting. It feels different.
I would agree. This is one of the Italian flair ships by Carnival that used to be a Costa ship. You definitely notice the Italian flair.
You do. From the materials used and the decorations, it feels different. Even the layout.
Well, there's like marbly kind of look. It's probably not real marble, but there's pillars, there's fountains. It's a totally different look than some of the what you'd call sister ships, the Panorama or the Vista. It's a totally different look around the pool.
It absolutely, especially with the different restaurants that go around it. It feels like you're in the middle of kind of like cafes and.
Well, yeah, so down on deck 10, you've got the Java Blue Cafe, Tomodoro, which would be similar to the Blue Iguana. Of course, Guy's Burger joint is there. And then the Row Cocoa Bar. So those are kind of on deck 10. And then above that on deck 11, that's the really unique spot I found.
Different
from
other ships.
It's totally covered, and it's almost like little living rooms going around the whole perimeter. There's the Il Mercato restaurant there, so that's kind of meatballs and sausages, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But little living rooms around, kind of comfy, I don't want to call them couches, but outdoor furniture. And this all overlooks the pool area.
It provides a lot of comfortable seating. Not a ton of seating to fit a lot of people, but a lot of comfortable seating.
Well, and then this area also housed kind of, I don't want to call it an indoor ping pong table, but it's a covered ping pong table with a lot of wind protection. There was kind of books and games out there, and it's just a really relaxing area.
With the books and games, which is a nice addition because a lot of cruise ships are moving away from the library. So it still provides the games and the books that you might enjoy in a library, but more in an open, family-friendly atmosphere.
Now, I do want to mention one thing about back down on the Lido and the pool. One wish I do have, there weren't any hot tubs in this area.
Yeah, that was definitely for me a big miss because I find hot tubs get really busy on cruise ships, and to have none around the main pool was disappointing.
It was, yeah. So it made it a little bit probably more crowded at the aft in the hot tubs, but so just keep that in mind. There were hot tubs though up in the Serenity as well for adults. The other thing on deck 11, so there was the pergola bar, I believe, was there. Like I'd already mentioned, the ping pong, games, books, that sort of thing. There was also by the Il Mercato a complimentary beverage station.
Which is nice because if you want to get something to drink, you don't need to go back inside to look if you just want a water or a lemonade. It's really convenient. I appreciate too that there is a mix of complimentary venues as well as paid for venues.
Yeah.
So, no matter what your budget or what you're looking for, there was stuff for everybody around the main pool.
Just that beverage station, I don't think there was coffee there outside. I wish there was coffee out there, but it was kind of your those Nestle stations that do the punch kind of iced tea type of thing out there. So and then above that, so you could go up from deck 11 to deck 12, and that would be overlook the pool as well, but it had the retractable cover,
which is totally a great thing if you have bad weather to have that covered pool. But I would say for our sailing, because it was very warm, the retractable pool, you kind of limit some of the visibility into the Lido deck area.
Not retractable pool.
Sorry.
Cover. But the so I think it was open pretty much all of our cruise. But if you're in a cooler climate or maybe sailing in the winter, it's nice they can close that if the weather's bad. So
I will add though, it was extremely humid on our cruise, and that area, like on deck 11, is not air conditioned. So all that area is quite warm when it's warm.
I would say there was also around this pool, there wasn't a ton of loungers around the pool, but if you went up to deck 12, so by the retractable roof, there were a fair amount of loungers up there. The one thing though that I don't want to call it a wish, because you can't, if you're going to have, I really like the retractable cover.
Yes.
But because of the mechanism, it's quite wide. I love looking over the edge and watching the parties and entertainment, and that kind of blocks it because it's probably 5 feet wide. So the views overlooking the pool from deck 12 are limited.
They are.
But I think I would trade that in to have the
I think
cover.
It's worth it.
I think it's worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Up on deck 12, there's a lot up there. There's the Carnival Waterworks. So if you're coming with kids or you
like water slides.
You like water slides. I believe there was 3 slides if I remember. And then there's a little kids splash area up there. So that was nice. I think we'd already mentioned there's loungers up there. We'll come back to kind of that area in a minute, but let's jump back to the other pool on deck 10.
Yes, the important parts, right? Everybody on a cruise likes pools.
So at the back of the ship,
yes,
we've got the Versilla pool, and there's 2 hot tubs back there. We'd already mentioned that.
But they're very busy, and I think that's because the Lido pool doesn't have any hot tubs in that area.
But I do appreciate that they were the larger style of hot tubs. They weren't the little kind of 4-person ones. They were the larger style. So that is a bonus.
It's a good thing. Definitely. It's needed.
But back there at the Versilla pool at the aft, it's beautiful out there. Great views. It's kind of tiered.
Yeah, and there's a lot of covered areas. So if you want to be in the sun or you prefer sitting in the shade, there's seating for both.
There was umbrellas as well as, I don't know what you'd call it. It's kind of like these metal posts that had fabric kind of
like
covering shade. Yeah.
Awning type
covering
things.
a lot of the chairs. So you could choose from both, which is definitely nice if you're going to Mexico for sure.
And there's music out there playing, but it wasn't so loud that I could still enjoy my earbuds if I preferred my own music. But it was a nice balance out there.
Yeah. Seating out there, I mean, around, of course, the seats right by the pool fill up first.
They're full.
But some did come available. But just one deck up on deck 11, overlooking that pool area, so just up the stairs, we found seating quite easily, loungers out there.
We did, and this is like 12, 11, 1 o'clock. I saw larger groups, like 4, 5, 6 people, find loungers together.
Yeah, and this was a full sailing on a hot day, so that was good. Because we've been on ships where we've walked around and given up on trying to find loungers.
You can't find 2 together. So to be able to find 4 or 5 together if you just walked around, that's really good. Really good. The
other thing back there, there's a couple of complimentary restaurants as well. You've got Chicken Shack as well as Pizzeria del Capitano. And there's also a little beverage station there as well, which is handy right by the pizza.
And I love that because when you're out in the sun, it's nice to be able to get water.
And that had the iced tea and lemonade as well. We should mention the Serenity area.
Yes.
So
yeah.
another great place. This is for adults. So there was 2 larger hot tubs as well. It's up on deck 15 at the front of the ship, and it's kind of got some good views. There's lots of glass for windscreen and for protecting from the wind. And if you want to grab a kind of a healthier lunch up there, they had Fresh Creations where they make a salad in front of you. So
it's a nice space.
It is,
really
yeah.
comfy loungers, different kind of seating up there. It's a nice place to check out.
But let's jump back over to deck 12. There's a lot of kind of amenities there for fun stuff. So this is where I say fun stuff. This is where you're going to find the walking or running track.
Let's talk about that. Was a good size at 1/4 mile, but it still weaves its way through loungers and is the main walkway to get through that part of the ship.
Well, the part above the Lido pool goes between the loungers, but the back is kind of open. So it's one of those things. I don't know. If you're going to go running out there, probably do it earlier in the day before it gets too busy.
And be patient.
Yeah.
You're going to go expecting that people are going to get in your way. Because if you're wanting a focused run, you might be better going and using the treadmill.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty quiet earlier in the day, but that midday sun, it gets pretty busy on those loungers. So it might be difficult. There's also quite a large sports court. So some ships, it's quite small. This one's quite large. The netting is a couple stories high, 2 or 3 stories high. It's got the basketball hoops in there. They can turn it into a pickleball court. There's bleachers and seating on the side, that sort of thing.
It's nice. Even if you want to go watch your family play sports or just sit and watch a game, you can enjoy that too. It's a really nice area.
The mini golf course, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I really enjoy that, and I appreciate that it's complimentary. It's just a great place for family to hang out.
Yeah, you just grab your golf club and the ball there, and they're kind of fun holes. We've been on some ships where it's more like a putting green. This is actually obstacles, proper mini golf. You can play as much as you want.
It's not the best, most interesting course I've ever seen, but it's a decent, and it feels like real mini golf.
Yeah. And right off of that is actually the arcade.
Yes.
So the arcade was actually surprisingly big. I've noticed this with Carnival. The arcades are commonly decent size. So there was the different driving games and shooting games in there, air hockey, skee ball, basketball, and then a lot of like ticket type games where you can win tickets and then trade them in for prizes in the kind of prize hub. So outdoor foosball.
Which is another fun, great thing to have.
Yeah, beanbag toss. And then up above the deck 12 is the high ropes course.
Yes. Oh, I love the high ropes course. It makes me feel like a kid again.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. We did it. I think we did 3 or 4 laps. Yeah. And it's about 10 minutes a lap. And
that was with taking my time and, not rushing through it.
Yeah.
You'll see kids up there that are going really quick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like the walk the plank. It's kind of a plank that goes out the side and not really anything to hold on to. It's kind of fun.
And I was surprised the lineup for the high ropes. It didn't take very long. The whole process was fun and easy. And I think if you're interested in that, it's definitely worth trying. Yeah.
And there's a lot more on the ship. So let's jump. I guess this would be on deck 12 as well, but there's the Cloud9 Fitness Center. So this is at the front of the ship. The hours of operation during our sailing were 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., except on embarkation day. I think it opened at noon. Now, you needed to be 18 or over to use the facility, and those that were ages 12 to 17 needed to be accompanied by an adult. So not the biggest gym I've seen, but they had a variety of cardio machines. They did have free weights and leg machines, upper body machines. So there's kind of everything you need in there. There was a Smith machine. So I do have actually a full walking tour of that gym if you want to check that out. We'll have it linked below in the description.
I thought it was a beautiful gym. I went up there one time and worked out, and it's all nice equipment, and it was really clean. It was very comfortable up there.
Yeah. So back on the Lido deck, you're going to find midship is the Lido Market buffet. So it goes down both sides of the ship. So it's a decent size, ample seating in there, great views. So that kind of is what you'll find mostly on the upper end of the ship. So then if you jump down, all the way down to deck 5, this is where you're going to find, let's start with outside on deck 5.
Okay. I like that space.
Yeah. It was really nice. So some of the outdoor seating for the different restaurants is there, but during the day you could actually sit there.
It'd be really easy to miss and to not see that you can go outside on deck 5.
Yeah.
It's worth going and strolling through because during the day, a lot of that seating is empty.
So, and then not only for the restaurants, but there was just seating if you wanted to go sit out there
Loungers.
with sunshades and then kind of loungers. It's kind of almost looks a little more modern out there. It was really neat.
It's very nice.
Yeah. So it was far quieter than up on the Lido deck.
Absolutely. It was really quiet.
Now, the nice thing about deck 5 is you can actually walk. You can't walk around the whole ship. We'll get to the back in a moment, but if you walk, you can walk around the front of the ship, and you can also go up on deck 6 and 7 at the front of the ship, and then all the way up at deck 9 and 10 at the front of the ship as well. So decks 5, 6, and 7 are below the bridge, and decks 9 and 10 are above the bridge. A lot of people call them the secret decks because they're really quiet out there. There's benches.
They're not really advertised. If you can see them on the ship map, but they're a lot of people don't venture out that way.
You kind of have to go past the cabins to get there. So, but it's really nice out there. It's quiet if you're looking for a quiet space. But at the back of the ship on deck 5, this is the Terrazza Moda. So outside on deck 5. Now, there's the Moda bar at the back, and behind that is the Terrazza Moda. And typically you would have to have those premium rooms to be able to use it.
And this is why you can't walk around the whole ship on deck 5, is because there's that exclusive area at the back.
Yeah. But there is a secret tip. So we only found this on the Carnival website, and we did ask the bartender, and they said yes. So at 7 p.m. at night, they were letting anyone go out there and use those hot tubs, and it was much quieter out there.
We were the only ones in the hot tub, and there was 2 hot tubs. The first evening we went out, we were about half an hour by ourselves out there.
I shouldn't say anyone, because I don't know what the age was for kids, but
it said all guests.
All guests, yeah. So it was really enjoyable out there. So I would check that out in the evening after 7 p.m. So a secret tip for you. But it's beautiful out there.
And quiet.
So jumping inside, there's the theater. It's the red carpet style theater.
I like it. Traditional.
Yeah, traditional. It's called the Teatro Rosso, I think.
We think. That's our best Italian.
So it's at the front of the ship on decks 3 and 4. Thoughts on it?
I like that it's a traditional theater. I like old school, that kind of velvety material.
Yeah.
The beautiful glass chandeliers.
I noticed it felt like there was lots of legroom, that like the seats weren't touching my knees in front of me. There was bar seating at the back upstairs. The one thing, and I think it's this class of ship, because I noticed this on the Vista and the Panorama as well. There's lots of pillars in the theater. So especially upstairs, there wasn't the greatest views.
And, so that is our wish, is that the better sight lines. Because so many of the seats have blocked views.
I don't think it's anything you can, you won't be able to fix it. It's the structure of the ship. But other ships in different classes don't have this problem. It is probably an oversight. I don't want to call it oversight. It was, I think, bad design.
Yes. So the workaround for this, if that's going to bother you, is go early and check that you can see.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention, and so again, the Vista and the Panorama had seats on the ground, or chairs on the ground that they could just pick up and move. It wasn't a traditional style. This was much better, being like a traditional theater with the fold down seats. I far enjoyed that over the other one. Just felt,
it turns into the club at night.
Yeah.
So all the chairs come out on the other one. This
felt a lot better, like a theater should be. Yeah. So the atrium, so that's outside of there as well, kind of decks 3, 4, and 5. Let me try to say this. the Piazza Duomo.
Duomo?
Maybe?
Duomo?
First off, I really like the lion on the pole in the middle of the like atrium bar.
This has a very unique feeling. It looks very different than the sister ships.
Yeah.
I liked it though.
Well, so it had the lion on the pole. On some of the other ships, you might see like a pole that lights up and changes, has almost like a video screen. Whereas this was, again, that more traditional with the Italian flair on this ship. It just fit.
Yeah, it was cute. It was cool.
Yeah, there's a beautiful glass staircase in there. There was seating overlooking the atrium.
Which I really like, not a lot, but you'd find like kind of like 3 bar stools together.
Yeah.
So you could sit right along the glass and look over and people watch, which is one of my favorite things to do.
So if there was something going on there, we might go a little bit early to get the bar seating on the glass because, like you said, there wasn't a ton of it. I guess that could be a wish that there was more bar seating around the whole thing. But I like sitting there too. Yeah.
It was fun to watch there.
This is where you'll find the guest services, access to the Medici restaurant, which is one of the main dining rooms. So that's right on deck 3. And shopping. So there was, of course, like jewelry, clothing, the fun shops, and a really big logo wear shop.
Which I like to browse through. Yeah. And there's some fun stuff in there.
They have the fun cruise ship models and lots of Firenze kind of gear, mugs, that kind of stuff. So a lot of cool stuff there. Let's jump to the back of the ship though. This is where you're going to find the kind of the bigger main dining room on the ship. So this is the Michelangelo dining room on decks 3 and 4. It really had an Italian feeling in it.
It definitely did. And it felt like there was kind of 2 sections to the dining room. There was the center, which felt like the big open hall with the big staircase and the statue of David.
Yeah, with his
little leaf carefully placed.
And a huge chandelier.
Yeah, and really high ceilings.
Yeah.
But yet then surrounding that area was a very different feeling.
It was almost like different walls. I don't want to call it a maze, but it was blocked off a lot. So to help keep the sound down. And you'd kind of walk through to your table.
It was definitely more private if you sat in that area. And that's where you would also find really good views of the ocean if you want to sit by the window.
So I really enjoyed the restaurant. It was nice. Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
nice. The Limelight Lounge as well. So this is on deck 4. This is typically where they would have comedy. So the Punchliner Comedy Club. So that was a really nice venue. The Tuscan Lounge on deck 5. So this had kind of a small stage, a dance floor. They could host trivia and dancing there. It had a really cool kind of video screen.
It brought a lot of light into that area and kept it more bright. And also, this would be easy to miss. This is where you're going to find access to deck 5 on both sides of that area. Yeah.
It was commonly how we would actually get outside. So lots of other bars and things around the ship. So the Heroes Tribute Bar, there was the Piano Bar 88 and the Frizzante Bar and kind of, more kind of all over the place.
And everything really has its own unique theme. Every space feels very different.
The casino was quite large. That was on deck 4 midship. It had a walkway that kind of went diagonally through the middle. So it kind of, that's the main walkway down deck 4. So it goes right through the middle of the casino. And then, decent size on that as well. So it kind of went from the atrium area towards the back of the ship. And then I think we wanted to touch on the smart elevators.
And this is like a loved and hated thing. I think the smart elevators are great when it's just like 1 or 2 people from a party choosing their elevator floor. And I did feel like it was much faster getting to the floor you wanted to go to.
I felt like it was faster as well. So if you're not sure what they are, in the hallway outside the elevator, you push there's no buttons in the elevator. So you push the floor you'd like to go to on the screen, and you're supposed to push it once for every person in your party, which a lot of people miss.
Yes. It's a little time consuming to do it multiple times because you have to redo it from the very beginning, the whole process. But
it's important to push it that many times because it knows how many elevators to send. So if you push it once for 5 people, it thinks there's only one person waiting there.
Yes.
And then it pops up which elevator to go to. So you go wait in front of that elevator. But again, if you don't push it enough, you might have 10 people standing there in front of that elevator, and it's only been pushed twice, and it only thinks there's 2 people, where it would send 2 elevators otherwise. So just push the button for how many people are.
And you got to pay attention a little more. But but it does work well.
Yeah. I like it. At first, I thought I wouldn't like those. We've had it a few times now, and I like it. I think it's faster.
Yeah. If I was traveling with a large group, though, I might find it annoying.
Overall, great ship. I do have one other wish that I can think of.
And I almost felt like I got lost because I couldn't figure this out.
Yeah. It was difficult to access deck 12, where the running track and the mini golf was. You can go up there only on the elevators at the front of the ship or the stairs at the front of the ship. Midship, there weren't any main stairs or elevator that would go there. I think there were stairs inside the arcade that take you from the kids area or the youth area up to the arcade, and you could kind of sneak through that way. And then there was stairs at the aft of the ship, kind of by the pool area outside. There wasn't the main stairs that went there.
Because I was confused. I went up to deck 12. You know, I'd wandered around the ship on my own, and I was watching over into the Lido deck. And then I wanted to get to the bottom of, like, deck 10 on the Lido deck.
You couldn't figure out how.
And I thought, well, there must be, like, a staircase connecting or something. I didn't... So I felt a little silly because I found it tricky to find my way down. Because, there wasn't a shortcut that I could find.
No. So, I mean, it's hard to fix something like that. I guess a wish would be that there were stairs somehow by the Lido pool. Yeah. That would get you down. But other than that, this was a fantastic ship. I really enjoyed the layout and amenities on this ship. There was a lot to enjoy.
I enjoyed that it was different. It was refreshing. It was fun.
Yeah, and that Italian flair was awesome. I really enjoyed the change of having that.
Absolutely.
So, so those are our thoughts here of the Firenze layout and amenities. So our inside cabin on deck 10, it was cabin 10223 on the starboard side of the ship. So the right-hand side towards the front. What were your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, let's talk about the location. I really enjoy being on the Lido deck.
Yes.
Because you don't spend time in the elevators during the day. At least
That's
for
true.
us. Because you have easy access to the pools. I loved the close access to the front of the deck where you can go outside on deck 10 and have a quiet moment with ocean views.
Those secret decks?
Yes. You know, the Lido deck can be busy and noisy, and then if you want to step away and have that quiet, it's there. Especially if you're in an inside cabin, you almost have your private balcony at times.
Yeah, it was just easy being in an inside cabin to just jump outside and hang out there at the front of the ship. So it was a really nice location. We've stayed at the front of the ship on deck 10 on other, on the Panorama, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's why we booked this one, because we enjoyed it that much.
We did, yeah. It was a really great space, and it's easy to enjoy the outdoor amenities because you're right there.
Yeah.
And you're close to the buffet.
That's handy. Yeah. The room itself, so lots of yellows and browns, burgundy, kind of faux wood marble type of look in there. Very Italian inspired colors. There's a big mural above the bed, like a huge mural.
The colors for me were neutral.
They were neutral.
It's not like I walked in there and be like, oh, this is how I want to decorate my home.
It wasn't like...
But it wasn't repulsive. It was just kind of neutral.
It was kind of like that gaudy look. It wasn't the kind of neutral colored modern like you see on a lot of the newer ships.
It wasn't all the grays and whites and that really clean look.
But in the same way, it was kind of fun.
Yeah. It wasn't hideous. It wasn't amazing. But I thought it generally overall looked nice, though. Yeah. It did look nice. And I like the big mural. That was nice. Yeah.
So let's start out with important things.
I know where you're going, because this is the stuff that you like. It's a big deal. It's a big deal to a lot of people.
Yeah. Plugs. So by the main desk, there was kind of under like the main vanity, there was one European plug, 2 120 plugs, and then there was like a weird odd 220 plug. We're not sure what it was.
Odd in that we're not familiar with it.
Yeah, we're not sure. It's we don't have an adapter for it, so
we couldn't take advantage of it.
yeah. But for the European plugs, we actually bring an adapter that gives us more USB ports. There was 2 USB-A ports there as well, but this just gives us extra. We have a lot of things we're charging. They're super handy. If you want one of those, we'll link them below. But
it was too bad though that we couldn't use the plug under the TV.
Yeah,
that provides a nice shelf to like charge stuff and organize your things. So it was too bad
that
we
was
couldn't
one of
utilize that.
the odd plugs.
So finding the adapter for that would have been helpful.
And that's the first time I remember seeing that weird plug on a cruise ship.
Yeah. So we'll have to do some research on that.
Beside the bed as well, there was 2 USB plugs only on one side of the bed.
So Ken got the plugs. I did not.
You're usually the lucky one that gets them on your side.
It's true.
So I was happy they were on my side. But I guess that would be kind of a wish. Plugs on both sides of the bed, or USB at least. But even better than USB would be a standard.
I prefer standard
outlet on the side of the bed. But so the room itself had your typical amenities: the hairdryer.
It's your basic, almost like your hotel built-in hairdryer. Not super strong. It's good enough for me. But if you've got thick hair or you need adapters, bring your own.
It had a safe so you can lock up your valuables. Just a small little safe. Put your passport and wallet in there, that sort of thing. There was 2 nightstands, which I know you appreciate the nightstands.
I appreciate the nightstand, and I really like that it has a cupboard door on it that closes. And the reason I like that is I always think if you put your things away, it looks nice. So if you have headphones, or I don't want to say things that are really expensive but of more value, I always like to close them away, so out of sight, out of mind. So I like that. I like that it's you're able to close that away. And
they had the lamps on them with a switch, so you could turn that off and on. And there was like the main switch for the room kind of behind your head on the headboard on my side as well. Yeah. So by the main door, there was 3 big hooks actually for hanging. You could do towels or your clothes, jackets, that sort of thing. So that was handy.
That was more than I usually see.
Yeah. So those were nice. We always bring magnetic hooks as well. So the walls and the ceiling were both metal, so those worked. It's just great for like pinning up papers or hanging hats, different things like that.
Tickets or different things. It's really helpful.
Yeah. So again, with those, we'll link them below if you want to pick some up. They're super handy on the cruise. We always use those. So the main closet wasn't huge.
I would say usually I find on a cruise ship there are 3 closet sections. This one had 2.
Yeah.
I felt like it was 30% smaller than most cabins.
And one side housed 3 drawers as well. And I believe the safe. So like for hanging stuff up, there wasn't a huge.
We had enough space, but I felt like it could have been better. Definitely wish it had that little extra. Yeah.
There was a full mirror on the back of the door, though.
Okay.
On one of them.
Yes. That's right.
And then, so right next to that, then is the vanity with the most of the plugs and the
lit mirror,
which was nice. And then I guess that would be where the hairdryer was.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there's a little stool type of thing
to sit on.
Yeah. So and then across from that was the kind of another table or open
a shelf under the TV.
So the TV itself was probably about 40 inches or so. It was a nice TV. It faced the bed directly.
Good sight lines for watching TV from bed.
Channel wise, kind of a lot of the channels are like Carnival channels talking about excursions and shopping and ports, that sort of thing. There's several news channels, some kids channels, a little bit of movies and that sort of thing. Not the hugest variety of channels on there. And then for on demand, there was a fair amount of movies, not a huge amount. So some were free. I believe a couple you had to pay for. So that's nice. But there weren't any comedies or like TV shows.
And that would be your wish, because you like to watch sitcoms. Ken likes to
So
kind of marathon on one.
yeah. So, but the TV was nice, good location, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
The washroom.
Yes. So this had a nice glass curved. Well, it could be. I think it was glass or.
Probably acrylic, but
Yeah.
glass. Yeah, it was curved too. The first thing I noticed is there wasn't a knob on it.
No, it's just a circular hole.
Yeah, you kind of put your finger in and pull it open, which was fine. It was just kind
It's
of
just
odd.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just different.
Yeah.
There was a clothesline in there. There was shampoo.
Well, no,
And-
well, kind of. It was the. It didn't even say conditioner on it. It just said body wash and shampoo, I believe.
Yeah, so I don't mind using a 2-in-1, but typically a 2-in-1 would be shampoo and conditioner. So there was no conditioner. It was just shampoo, body wash in one. So if you're really picky about that, I'd probably bring your own.
Bring your own shampoo and conditioner if you've got long hair, because I think you'll be really frustrated at the end of the cruise with that.
The vanity. I know you had some wishes about the vanity in the bathroom.
Yeah, it looks nice because it looks fun, it looks Italian, it looks different, but the vanity doesn't go wall to wall, so there's space on either side, which makes it harder to leave your makeup bag or stuff on there's not as much counter space. So that, I didn't feel like it was a good use of space in the washroom to give that up.
Yeah, no, I would agree. You're kind of almost using the little side shelves for your stuff because you're worried about it toppling
over.
Yeah. There was a little shaving mirror or makeup mirror in there, like a little round one, as well as there was a plug for your shaver as well in there. But, I mean, overall, a nice little washroom. The mirror lit up, I believe. And
nice and compact, like your typical cruise washroom.
yeah. The other thing I think we forgot to mention, over by the TV in the vanity there was also like a mini cooler.
And we like this because it actually came empty. So if you're putting stuff in there, there's space for it. Like you really enjoy bringing fruit back to the cabin.
Yeah.
And putting it in the fridge. Sometimes I'll pick up a yogurt at breakfast and put it in the cooler just so I can have it in the evening. And when the coolers come full of their beverages, then there's not space. So I like that it was empty.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
That's a great thing. I like that.
Let's talk about the bed.
Yes.
So actually, when we showed up, our bed was in the 2 twin format. I think there was error happening there, but it's not a big deal. So we had it then converted to a king. It was comfy.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I didn't wake up with a sore back or anything. It was comfier than other Carnival ships I've been on for the bed. And the good thing is the luggage fit under the bed.
It did, yeah. So we had like a 28-inch suitcases.
Yeah.
So we could just slide them under. So that clears up a lot of floor space in the cabin.
Yeah. Any other kind of wishes you had, or for the?
No, I think all in all, I thought it was a great cabin.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. One thing I should mention, though, I guess I have one more wish, is the little snoozing sign that you hang on the door so your room steward knows not to bother you. Ours got taken one of the nights. So I kind of wish that Carnival would switch over to a different system.
And maybe they have on some of their newer ships, or maybe it'll come, because it's so easy for that tag to fall off and someone pick it up or it go missing. And then I don't want to be woken up early on my cruise. I want to sleep in.
So I wish they would have like a little button. A lot of cruise lines have a little button you push and there's a light outside that says you're snoozing or whatever.
Or
and it's just
occupied,
occupied. So I wish there was more of a modern system for that. But other than that, it was a fantastic cabin. Would you stay there again?
Absolutely. It was comfortable. It was quiet. I liked the location.
Yeah, I really liked the location and like you say, it was comfortable. So those are our thoughts on our inside cabin on the Carnival Firenze. So if you're still watching or listening, you're probably getting some value of our likes and wishes about the Carnival Firenze. If you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button or follow us on social media, it would really help us out in growing this channel. Well, the free food and restaurants on the Carnival Firenze, there were a lot of options to choose from.
You know, it's always the benefit of cruising is there's a lot of food options, a lot of great things to try.
I felt like there were more complimentary options to try on this ship than some of the other ones we've been on.
I'd agree.
There was a lot. We had to struggle to try everything.
I couldn't try everything,
can't,
and I wanted to,
Yeah.
But there was, I think too, because with that Italian flair, they were slightly different.
Yeah, there was some unique stuff that we hadn't tried before. So we, at some points, I would order one thing and you would order from a different restaurant, so we could try them both. Yeah.
Because
So
we need a longer cruise to sample everything.
let's start out in the marketplace buffet on deck 10. So quite a nice buffet. It goes down both sides of the ship. I think it was ample size for the size of the ship. Some great views off the side.
I love the glass and the views. There are definitely peak times that are busy,
Yeah.
but it is a really nice buffet area.
So in there's a few complimentary beverage stations. So you could get your coffees and decaf. They had teas. I believe they were Lipton brand. So they had like a regular and decaf as well as a green tea. And then the Nestle Vitality machine. So in the morning, kind of orange juice, apple juice. And then later in the day, that would typically be lemonade and iced tea. So those would be kind of your standard complimentary beverages on the ship. And there was a few of those stations around the buffet area.
And then there was a lot of your typical foods for breakfast, like your eggs, your ham, sometimes bacon. Not every day.
Yeah.
I know that would be a wish for you. You would like there to be bacon every day.
Well, yeah, like, and there might be bacon every day, but they often run out or they don't have it. So I feel, and that's the one thing that they serve you. So, not that you need a lot of it. It just seems cheap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. It seems cheap when there's the one item that you're serving, basically. And, yeah, I don't know.
Especially if you really want bacon every day.
Yeah.
You may not find it every day in the Lido market.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other things. There's like cereal, lots of breads. You've got your yogurts.
Pastries.
Oh yeah, I love pastries.
The Danishes and the croissants, that sort of thing. My favorite, though.
Chopped fruit.
Yeah. So bonus, good job. You might not have scored on the bacon, but you did a good job for the chopped fruit on this ship.
It makes it so convenient because I love to eat my watermelon and pineapple with a fork.
We like a bowl of it. I'll often take it back to the room for a bedtime snack. It's all chopped up. You're not eating it off the rind. Watermelon, pineapple, and not only at breakfast, but lunch and dinner. Good job.
I enjoy that.
That was awesome.
Especially in the hot weather, going outside in the sun and eating watermelon. It's fun.
And it was not all mixed together.
Yeah.
Because often they'll take it and make a fruit salad, which I commonly enjoy. But there's certain fruits that people...
I don't like melon, like the regular melon.
Yeah,
So
like I'm not
happy.
a huge cantaloupe fan.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like I'll eat it, but it's not...
Yeah.
Like if it's in the bowl, like I prioritize a scoop that has less of it than more of it.
Like I just want just pineapple and just watermelon. So
Yeah.
I like that I could make my own variety.
Yeah, so I appreciate that because the rind... Wait, now I'm whining. I don't want to eat on off a rind.
I ain't eating no cantaloupe.
Lunch and dinner, lots of options. So different salads, so you can make your own salad. There's pre-made salads, deli meats, cheeses. Again, the chopped fruit, pasta dishes. There's different rice dishes. Lots of different meats, chicken, beef, that sort of thing. They have the carving stations, which would typically change every day. And everything did kind of rotate. There's some common staples that are every day, but there was different varieties throughout the week. The desserts were really good.
You know,
Especially a couple of them.
it's hard too when there's desserts at lunch and dinner.
There's a couple that I really enjoyed on this
Yeah, totally.
ship. So the key lime pie.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah.
Now, I also had the banana cream pie, but I don't remember if that was in the buffet
I think
or
that was in Medici.
in Medici. Yeah, it was for the pasta
Yeah.
bella, but I think I had it in the main dining room as well. Anyway, if you see that, it was really good. Panna cotta.
That was good too.
That was good. And they also had on one of our days only around lunch, they had a chocolate extravaganza, which they had all sorts of toppings.
Self-control was very difficult for me that day.
They had all sorts
I
of
had a whole plate of chocolate.
chocolate pastries, all sorts of chocolate desserts, and then they had hard scooped ice cream, which was really nice. I think it was chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. They also did like fruit dipped in chocolate. So watch if they have the chocolate extravaganza. Check that out.
I would just add here that Carnival in general doesn't have the biggest buffet variety compared to some other cruise lines. However, they have so many different restaurants that are complimentary, especially at lunchtime, that I feel like it makes up for it.
Yes, I would agree. For lunch.
For lunch.
A lot of them are closed at dinner. So
and for breakfast.
Yeah. I would say I agree for lunch. Swirl's ice cream is there as well. So your yogurt cone or your soft serve chocolate vanilla, that sort of thing.
So our ongoing snack of the day.
Ongoing snack of the day. And then I was happy to see this. They had an evening snack.
Because I feel like I haven't seen this on every cruise.
No. So on our sailing, it was 11 p.m. to 12:30, so it was quite late. They had things like nacho chips and salsa, chicken tenders, thick crust pizza, some different salads, cookies, I think, that sort of thing. So it wasn't a full buffet. It was quite small, but if you wanted a snack, it was kind of an evening snack.
It's nice that there was more than just pizza, though. I appreciate that.
The other thing I want to mention is many of the items that were on the menu in the main dining room were a variation of that was available at dinner time in the buffet.
Yes.
So if you had FOMO that you missed out on some dessert, go check out the buffet. There's a good chance you're going to find it there, especially if it's one of the main things.
If I saw something Ken ordered for dinner and then I was sad that I didn't have it.
The key lime pie.
Then I'd peek in the buffet after dinner and
they didn't
may take a small serving of.
They didn't have things like the lobster tail from the formal night or like the filet mignon, like those sorts of things weren't there. But your kind of standard foods they would put in the buffet. So there was a lot of variety of complimentary restaurants out on the Lido deck as well. So after the ship, one of the staples, pizza. It's called Pizzeria del Capitano. They're made fresh right in front of you. They're pretty basic pizzas. It's typically like a pepperoni or
the
margarita.
The mushroom fungi.
Like a mushroom one, yeah. They're pretty basic, but they get them out pretty quick.
Not a lot of options, but it was a quick. They're quite thin crust, so not super filling, but they do cook fast and. Especially if you're just having it as a snack. It's great. So they're kind of a staple on Carnival. And they're open later. They're not open as late as they used to be. Or I think they used to be 24 hours. Like that's not anymore. That's not anymore. But they're still open fairly late. After the ship as well, this was really good. Chicken Shack. And that was good. Yeah. So this would be your chicken sandwiches. I had the chicken strips were really good. Chicken strips, fries. They had... a couple different salads there. I think a coleslaw, maybe a potato salad or something like that. I had the big smoky sweet barbecue melt. I think I had cheese, onions, and bacon on it. So like a big chicken sandwich. I like to call them chicken burgers, but I don't know. That's just a Canadian thing. I think so. And then out by the main Lido pool on deck 10, Tomodoro. So this would be similar to what you might see on other Carnival ships, the Blue Iguana Cantina. You could go there for breakfast and lunch. So breakfast burritos. Yes. Yeah. They would load you up with. We did that one morning and it was good. The lineup wasn't too bad when we went. A little faster, especially if the buffet's really busy, especially on a port day morning. Yeah. So that had like your eggs, you could get like bacon and then all your toppings or whatever. And so it's a breakfast burrito. And guacamole. Like seriously. I love the guacamole. And then for lunch, you could go there and they had tacos, which we actually didn't try. Not this time. But burritos. Which was really good. Again, chicken, shrimp, or fish. Yeah. No, not fish. No. Chicken, shrimp, or beef. And then you choose your tortilla and then... all the toppings, beans, rice, guacamole, salad. There were a few other Italian options there, but we didn't try them out. Yeah. So that's always good. And then this one, because this was an Italian style ship, I haven't seen this one before. No, I think it kind of replaced a little bit the deli though, but not quite. But similar. It was your deli sandwiches were offered there.
Yeah, so this was on deck 11 above the Lido pool. It's called Il Mercato. Sausages, meatballs, and salads or something like that. So they had a variety of different sandwiches you could choose from. And I think there was a wrap as well. There was a wrap for sure.
Yeah.
And then they had different sausages, hot dogs, big meatballs.
Really big meatballs.
Different sausages and or sauces and then chips.
And the salad options too. Like I quite enjoyed it. I did have one of the turkey sandwiches one evening. It wasn't super big, so it's actually great if you're wanting a snack. But if you're hungry, then you have the option of having a few or a lot of salads and stuff to go with it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really nice space. I liked it a lot. And I liked that it was outside and you're still part of like the atmosphere there.
Yeah.
And that you didn't have to go all the way down to like deck 5 or something. It was convenient for me.
Well, and there was a complimentary beverage station right by it as well. Not coffee, but like the Vitality machine. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping back to deck 10, we can't forget a Carnival favorite, Guy's Burger Joint. I didn't have a burger this time.
But I did. They have a few different burgers to choose from. The Plain Jane, the Straight Up, the Ringer, and a couple of Italian-inspired burgers, the Pepperoni Pizza Burger and the Super Melty Moots. They load you up with French fries. And they've also got a toppings bar with some side dishes and more toppings for your burger. Delicious and definitely a staple on Carnival. My favorite is the Ringer. Those are really good. Jumping all the way down to deck 5. So this was only on embarkation and sea days. This would be, it was called the La Strada Grill, I believe. And on a lot of other ships, you might see it as the Guy's Pig and Anchor.
Their barbecue.
It's kind of replaced that. So this would be kind of the barbecue. So there was some salads.
So it is outside.
It is outside, yeah. So we went there, I feel like on embarkation day. Yeah.
And it was quiet. Because you know when you're on an embarkation day, a lot of people head upstairs to the buffet and it's packed. People may have bags with them. It's full. This was easy. There were tables. It was really, for embarkation day, a really great stop to get your lunch.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, salads. They did have a sandwich, I believe. Like a hoagie sandwich. There was things like chicken, mac and cheese, beans, corn.
I enjoyed the salads they had.
Greek salad, I believe, or like they might have called it something else, but
it was good.
Yeah, it was definitely worth checking out. So that's outside on deck 5. So that would be kind of your main, like, faster options. Now, on one day, only on one day.
One day only.
One day only. They had the Pasta Bella for lunch.
And we have done Pasta Bella on other Carnival cruises. And this was completely different.
Yeah, so those Pasta Bellas are typically in the pasta restaurant on the other Carnival ships. I can't remember what that's called off the top of my head. This was in the Medici main formal dining room.
Yes.
Right off the atrium, so on deck 3. And again, it was one day only, lunch only, and it was kind of a special thing.
It was very popular. You don't have to dress up for it, but it feels more formal. It doesn't feel like your fast food event.
Yeah. So you didn't customize your pasta like on other...
The other ones, you pick the type of pasta, the type of sauce, your toppings.
This was like pre-done. So there was
a menu.
Set. It was, I think, still maybe like it wasn't the fanciest menu, but it had like the salads type of thing, and then a pre-done pastas with already the toppings, and then dessert. So there was some. I think you had like a 7-layer chocolate cake, and I think I had the banana cream pie, and
it was good.
I feel like my pasta had like it was a chicken and mushroom pasta type of thing. So it was definitely delicious. I would check it out. But watch your fun times because it was only on one lunch for our sailing.
And it was good and I really enjoyed it.
The other thing I should mention, I think we forgot to say this during the other part, was in the Serenity, they had the fresh creations as well for adults. So if you just wanted to grab a salad for lunch, you could do that up in the Serenity. They'd make it right there in front of you. But the main dining room, this was really good.
This was good. I really enjoyed the options. I enjoyed the food.
It's a beautiful venue, first of all. It's got the main open area, just kind of marbly and Italian flair in there for sure. Big chandelier. But the one thing I want to mention, is the tables are still fairly close.
Yes, not as bad as some ships we've been on. But some tables are, they're just like, you're pretty close to the other table.
Yeah. So I wish the tables were a little bit further apart. Not as bad as, like you say, other ships we've been on, but this one, they're still fairly close.
We've had better spacing.
But I do want to say it's very blocked off the restaurant. So yes, there might be someone next to you, but there was kind of walls often separating areas. So you might not have someone behind you, or it was more closed off that way.
And that is something to ask for, especially if you're with somebody that maybe has a hearing impairment or doesn't want a lot of background noise. If you go by the windows and closer to the wall, rather than that open hall area, it might be a little more quieter and easier to hear.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people have been asking, is the food different on the Italian style cruise, and do they have different names?
Because we wondered that.
We wondered that as well. So the food is very similar. There's a few things that are different
in the
main dining room. But a lot of it was the same food as other Carnival ships, just renamed.
In
or
Italian.
with a slight twist to it.
Yes.
So it would have like an Italian name, but the description would be the exact same as on a different Carnival ship. So let's start out with breakfast and brunch.
Yeah.
Because we went there a few times. So of course you could get free complimentary juices, orange juice, apple juice, that sort of thing. Now, of course, they have the list of fresh juices you can buy. I didn't see the free juices listed on the menu.
There's two different menus. There's the Port Day one and the one, I can't remember which, but one of them I didn't see just the complimentary juices, but they're still available. So if you don't see it on the menu, just ask.
Yeah. But some of our favorites, the yogurt parfait, there's so many seeds and nuts on it.
It was good.
It's good. Yeah, we order that almost every single time.
Actually really filling, and it would have been enough, but of course I get FOMO.
Yeah. Because you can't get that up in the buffet.
No.
So you have to
totally
go
different.
to the main dining room. Lots of, danishes and croissants, that sort of thing you can order. And your typical like omelets, you could order like...
Which you enjoyed?
Cheese and ham, that sort of thing. Different styles of eggs, so scrambled or...
and the eggs Benedict were good. Eggs were done right. It was still runny and the yolk came out. It was nice.
One I enjoy, and I'm going to butcher the name, huevos rancheros. It's kind of like a tortilla with eggs and toppings on there. That's really good. French toast. You can order different sides as well. Hash browns, bacon sausage, all that kind of stuff as well. So there's a lot of different options for breakfast. And then dinner, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I was happy. I felt like the temperature was good. The flavoring was good. It came out plated nicely.
Yeah. So I will mention this. Some of the items, they have a little Emerald Selects area on there. There was typically an appy as well as a main kind of dinner option on that. We ordered from that quite a bit.
Yeah, it was kind of like their chef's recommendations. And usually it just seemed like a little bit fancier of an item.
Yeah.
So sometimes I took advantage of it.
So the nice thing, of course, they come with the fresh bread, and often it was still hot because we were eating at 5:00. So it was nice and hot. But lots of fun appies. So they had salads, Caesar salad, iceberg salad, Greek salad, caprese salad, like different salads like that. Appies, crawfish strudel. That was actually
good.
Really good.
Yes.
Escargot, marinated chicken tenders, crab
good, yeah.
and shrimp cakes, spring rolls. They even had calamari. Yeah. So there's so much more than that, but those are just some of the highlights we had. For the main dishes, a strip loin steak. I think that's the one that was available every day during the cruise. Short ribs, filet mignon.
You love that. There. The short ribs were so good. You can't just roll past that. They were really good.
And I think they had on the main formal night, they had the first, we were on a 7-day cruise. So there was 2 formal nights. The first one, they had a filet mignon that I believe came with short ribs. It was a double meat one, which was good. Southern fried chicken, which I enjoyed. Catfish, you had that. You don't even remember.
I don't even remember. To be honest.
Beef braised brisket.
That was good too.
Yeah, and then on the second formal night, they did have a lobster tail or prime rib, and then, like I said, a whole lot more.
And the nice thing I just want to point out is not all cruise lines include lobster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun that they have continued that tradition.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious to know whether they offer it on the shorter sailings, because we were on a 7-night sailing.
That's true.
So if you're on a kind of 3 or 4 night sailing, maybe let us know in the comments whether they served lobster on the formal night.
Oh, and I should clarify, when we've been with other cruise lines, it's often an upsell.
Yes. Yeah. So this was included at no additional
Which is
charge.
just nice that everybody can try it.
Yeah. Food for dessert. There was some great ones. I think we already mentioned the panna cotta and the buffet and the key lime pie, but we had those there.
That's a must. The key lime pie.
And the banana cream pie.
Oh, yeah.
A couple others. There was something called the spumoni cassata, which is similar to the baked Alaska that you'd find on other Carnival ships. I enjoyed it. It has like a green ice cream in it instead, but you didn't love it.
Okay, but this was the interesting part, because mine had like flicks of dried fruit in it. And just for the record, I don't like fruit cake, so it was that same kind of but yours didn't seem to have
as much of it,
where mine seemed kind of heavy. So I would have preferred and wished for a classic baked Alaska, but that's really a small thing. It was still good, it just wasn't my favorite.
And then my ultimate favorite,
the creme brulee.
Creme brulee,
with that crystallized sugar on top.
I always feel like calling it an ice skating rink. Like it's
he has to break the ice.
I break
test.
the ice and lift it up, and it is perfect.
He like tests it every
Custard, yeah. And again, many of these items were in the buffet, not the creme brulee. I don't think I didn't see that up there, or the baked Alaska, but a lot of the kind of staple dishes or things were up in there
as well.
Especially like appy type stuff. So yeah, but that's any other thoughts on the free food and restaurants?
No, there was a lot to try. Like, I'll have to go back to finish taste testing.
Yeah, we can try everything, but awesome. Well, that's our thoughts on the free food and restaurants on the Carnival Firenze. So Andrea, the entertainment and activities on the Carnival Firenze, what were your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. It was fresh and new. A lot of the things we saw were the first time that we've enjoyed those productions.
Yes. On other Carnival cruises, sometimes it's been something we've already seen before or, with, a little bit different, but it was nice to have stuff that we hadn't seen before. And I think a lot of that had to do with it being an Italian style ship, and we hadn't sailed on one of the Italian Carnival ships before.
I think they were trying out some new plays and stuff too. So it was good. So should we start at the beginning of the week?
Sure. So there, of course, the first day there was the welcome aboard show in the Teatro Rosso, the main theater.
It was very comedic. It was very funny. With our host, and he did a great job.
They typically bring people up on stage from the audience, do some fun stuff with them, and then the main kind of Playlist Productions group comes out, sings a few songs. It's kind of to just kind of get a feeling of what you're going to be experiencing throughout the week. So it was really good.
It's a good sampler, and it was also family friendly. So it was a good thing to go to.
Now, the next night, I believe this was really good. I think this was one of the better performances we've seen in a long time on a cruise ship. So as the main performance, Dear Future Husband.
I loved it.
Yeah.
The music was good. The storyline was romantic and fun. It's a great show.
It's basically about a couple getting married on a cruise ship and the story of that. There's lots of singing, lots of dancing. And for this one, we actually sat in the front row, and they'd come into the audience and singing right in front of us and dancing. So we had a really good view for it.
I really recommend it.
Yeah.
So there was 2 performances. Our sailing was 7:30 and 9:30.
And that was kind of the typical time for the shows on the ship, so 7:30 and 9:30. But if you're on the ship, I would highly recommend Dear Future Husband if you see that. Some of the other shows, Deal or No Deal, they had as a main show one of the evenings, which to me is a bit of a wish.
Yeah, if you've never seen Deal or No Deal done on a cruise ship, it is fun, but I would place it up there with bingo.
Mm-hmm.
So this really generates a lot of income for the cruise line.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely free to go and watch, but it's a big push to sell the cards to play along.
Yeah.
So I don't really, it's not the same for me.
I feel like my wish is, I enjoy going and watching it, but my wish is it would just be an afternoon thing, or that they wouldn't replace an evening show with it. I feel like it's the cruise lines do it to make money, and I wish they would just add it on and put, even if it's something like a comedian or whatever instead. I don't like when they replace an evening show with Deal or No Deal. That's just my personal thought.
And we've seen it on many cruises, so when you've seen it over and over,
yeah,
it's still fun to watch, but I just wish we would go to a...
It just feels like there's no entertainment for the evening unless you want to go invest and try and win money.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. But other stuff, the one night we had a variety Motown singer, which was really good. Went through a variety of different songs. There was a fun one, What's Age Got to Do With It? This was kind of like, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? It brought in the parents and the kids and, ask questions, finishing sentences, that sort of thing.
Very much a family game show.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of, in a way, some of it was like a family-friendly love and marriage show, but with kid and their child and their parent asking questions back and forth and trying to get matches type of thing. So it was very clean. It was really good.
It was fun. And, we were not traveling with our children, but we still enjoyed watching it.
They, of course, had the love and marriage show on one of the nights. And we had a very special guest on our cruise.
Oh.
Yes.
This was a true highlight and an amazing way to end our final night on the cruise.
So I wouldn't expect this on your cruise because I think special guests only come once in a while. We didn't know.
No. She was the season 12 winner of American Idol. It was Candace Glover, and she was amazing.
Yeah. Her vocals were phenomenal. There was no band or anything. It was just her singing, and she did an amazing job.
That my only wish, though, if I were going to add a wish, is that it was live music with it. It was canned music.
Yeah.
But still, the level and the skill was just next level.
It was definitely next level. And I thank you, Carnival, for bringing on guests like that. It really helps boost the week, and it just takes it to the next level. Like, it was really good. That
is like entertainment that if you were home, you would have paid for tickets to go see.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was really good. So those were some of the main shows that we saw. There's all sorts of other stuff going on around the ship. There was ice carving on the Lido deck on day 2, one of our sea days. That was really fun. They do such a good job out there. Different things around the ship. So the comedy club, so the Punchliner Comedy and the Limelight Lounge.
And Carnival is always very strong on their comedy. Lots of different comedians and lots of different shows. There's family, and then there's also adult-only shows.
Yeah.
It's a strong...
I believe that one of the nights, if I'm not mistaken, they did comedy as one of the main shows. So even actually going back to Deal or No Deal, maybe like have a comedy show in there, even if it's the same comedians, just so it feels like there's another show. Things like karaoke. They had trivia in the Tuscan Lounge.
Lots of trivia through the day.
Towel folding in the Tuscan Lounge. That was fun.
Yeah. That was fun. Yeah. It was very well attended. It was very busy.
Yeah. So they hand out a towel and guide you through making different animals and stuff. So that's fun.
Yeah.
The Venetian mask making.
Yeah, we missed that because that was on the first sea day morning. But that allowed, there was a Venetian Meet the Captain kind of event that you could have had a mask to wear for that evening. So that was fun that people got to create and decorate their own mask for that. And that was complimentary.
It was, yeah. There was Build-A-Bear, so a Build-A-Bear workshop, which was for the kids. I didn't go. You stopped by.
It was a full presentation. So you could go and watch for free if you want to build a bear. There's obviously a cost to that and a cost to buying outfits and stuff. But the cruise director he went through a whole like guided process. It was a very special event. It
Yeah.
wasn't a 5 minute put your bear together and you're done. It was a whole
Mm-hmm.
almost ceremony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on the ship, they also have the morning show.
Mm-hmm.
So on our sailing, I believe it was Joey, the cruise director. They'd go in the Teatro Rosso Theater and film the morning show,
Mm-hmm.
which goes out on the TVs and the screen. But we stop by there and watch that
Mm-hmm.
filming. It's often quite comedic
Mm-hmm.
and enjoyable. One of the other things they had on day 2 was the captain's Venetian toast, and that's where the mask making kind of fit in.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the main singers came in and dressed kind of
Like capes.
capes and opera type of thing,
Yeah.
and sang a song or two. Then they brought in the senior staff, which introduced them. The captain came in and talked about how to actually say Carnival Firenze in Italian. So it was a really nice thing. It was in the atrium. It was well attended. It was really good. So
It was
I would
a
check that
bigger
out.
event than I expected, especially with all the musical going along with it.
Yeah.
And then there were a lot of parties, both your classic carnival parties and some new ones.
Yeah, so there was the sail away party, which is kind of a tradition on Carnival.
That's a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
They managed to get a huge participation of cruisers involved.
Yeah.
It's high energy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's out on the Lido deck. It's kind of a staple on Carnival.
They do a great job.
Yeah.
Really good. Then there was also Rock the Promenade.
Yeah.
That was inside. Not as big,
No,
but it was still a fun event
still
to
fun.
watch.
Yeah. The Motown Music Trivia Party. Now this other one, I don't know if I want to call it a party or an event. It was kind of both.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of an Italian one. So it was called Festa Italiana. This was on day 3 of our cruise.
This felt very special. It felt like a family carnival with Italian flair. So there was a lot of flags that were put over the pool, the Lido pool. It was decorated. They had violinists playing. There were dancers.
Yeah, the playlist. I think they were the playlist production dancers. Came out all dressed up and kind of marched around. Like it was really neat.
Different games.
Yeah, different games. Weird ones like balancing pots on your head and walking obstacle courses, that kind of stuff. It was really cool.
My only wish for this event is that there were more seating.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to like actively be involved with your family, you'll need to go early.
Yeah. There was lots of standing room, but not seating. So the other thing, it was a longer event. It was 2 hours from 8:15 to 10:15. So it wasn't like just a half-hour thing. This went on for quite a while. So
It was fun.
yeah, I would call it unique. And I really appreciated that being like that Italian style on the ship. So.
And it was more of a family-friendly event than like a party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Silent Nights, they had that on the ship. If you're not sure what that is, it's the dance party where you wear headphones, so it's quiet and everybody's dancing. Lots of the teens get involved in that. The 80s rock and glow party. This is a staple again on Carnival.
On the Lido deck,
Yeah.
it's well attended and well participate. Like
Yeah.
a lot of excitement there.
Yeah. And then there's also the White Hot Night Party. This one was down, I believe, in the atrium area. It was not a huge participation. There was a lot of people in white dancing, but it was not as big as I've seen other times.
And I noticed at dinner, a lot of people were not wearing all white. So it's not that everybody was in white all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Other, entertainment and activities on the ship. So there was the high ropes course, and I do appreciate that had no cost. So again, that was above deck 12. You can go around the perimeter. We were allowed, I think it might depend on how busy it is, but we could go around as many times as we wanted.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. That's really enjoyable. The mini golf is up there, the water slides and the little water park for the kids, the sports court and the arcade. So there's a lot of entertainment that way. You did the spa tour.
Yeah, that was fun to go through and see the different areas. It's also a good way to know what is on your cruise ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you feel like there were pressure selling you, or was it okay?
No, actually, I felt like the little sales presentations were shorter.
Okay.
You could sign up and take advantage of some of the sales
Sure.
from the first day.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
Yeah. No, it was. I'm glad you did that. I didn't do it.
It's kind of warm in that area.
Yeah.
Going through, and if you're hungry, maybe eat first before you go.
Yeah. There's so much entertainment and activities on the ship. The other thing is movies on the Lido deck by the pool.
Yeah, and this is like a great thumbs up, like 2 thumbs up for this. And the reason I want to talk about it is you don't notice it's there until you're on a cruise that doesn't have it. And that is when you're watching the movie, the volume is loud enough to hear it so you can follow the dialogue, and there's subtitles.
Yes. Well, because sometimes it gets loud out by the pool, so be able to read along, especially if there's
dialogue while talking. Yeah.
So that was nice that they had that, and it's a nice big screen out there by the pool. So
it's a nice family event, or even adults going. It's nice that they have that.
Yeah. Other than that, any other thoughts on the entertainment and activities on the Firenze?
Well, I had a lot of fun, and I was very busy, so I would tend to say that means it was really good.
Yeah. I would say that I appreciated the show Dear Future Husband. I really enjoyed that in the Teatro Rosso, and I enjoyed the Festa Italiana, that party. Those were the 2 things that stood out to me.
And the Venetian thing with the captain.
That's true. That was really cool.
That stood out too.
Yeah. So the entertainment and activities were fantastic on this ship, and I'm sure you'll love them if you're sailing on the Firenze. So hope you enjoyed our likes and wishes review from sailing here on the Carnival Firenze. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button or follow us on social media. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy cruising.